In this section, we will talk about split testing. It is a very cool feature that will help you to improve your online store over time and get more and more sales. So what is split testing? The idea here is that sometimes we want to test multiple things and see which one will work best for our visitors. For example, should we say buy my black t-shirt, it's amazing? Or should I say buy my cotton t-shirt, it's really great? Or should I say something like buy my black cotton t-shirt because you will feel comfortable? Which one of the message works best and will at the end make our visitors buy my black t-shirt. To test that, we use split testing. We will create 3 different versions of our page and then display each version to 1/3 of the traffic. So visitor number 1 will see version 1, visitor number 2 will see version 2, visitor number 3 will see version 3, and then visitor number 4 will see version 1, number 5 version 2, and so on and so on and so on. And after that, we get all the data of which version drives us more sales, for example. We can create as many tests as we want with as many versions in each test as we want. But it's best practice to just do 1 test at a time with only 2 versions. Then when we have a winner in test number 1 with 2 versions, then you take this winner and you do a second test with a 3rd version. And you keep doing like this to do more testing. And if you keep doing this for many different elements on your store, then over time you will be able to greatly improve your store, and improve means getting more sales. There is just 2 things to keep in mind when we want to do split testing. The first one is it's a pretty advanced feature, so in case you jump directly to this section of the course, then you should at least go back to the section about the visual builder just to make sure that you understand everything that you are going to do right now. And the second one is that for a proper split testing, you need to have traffic on your store. You cannot do split testing with only 50, 100, or even 500 visitors on your store. It will be difficult to have clear results, and if you don't have a clear winner in your version, then you can't really decide which one will work best and which one is the winner. So if you are just starting your online store and you have no traffic at the moment, then you should not worry about split testing. You can keep that on the side and then come back to it later when you will have more people visiting your store. If you already have some traffic on your store, but it's low traffic, like for example, just a few thousand people a month, then if you do split testing, then consider a winning test, a winning version during your test, only if you have a very clear winner and a very big difference between 2 versions. Like for example, you have version A that brings you 70% better result than version B, then this is a clear win. Then you can say, okay, this one is better. But if you don't have a clear winner between your version, then it's better to consider that in your test, your versions are equally effective. Then something that you can do as well if you have low traffic on your store, like for example, just a few hundred people a week, keep your test for several weeks. For example, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, or even longer if you need, to make sure that you have a clear winner into your test. And then when you have more traffic on your store, then the period of your test can be way smaller and you can learn from your split testing much faster. So that was the general guidelines regarding split testing. Now let me show you how to set this up on your store. So here I am on my store, and to access the split testing feature, we go to the visual builder. So let's go to enable visual builder here at the top of the page. Okay, and then to enable split testing, you can select any row, section, or module that you want to split test and access the additional settings here with the 3 little dots, and then click on split test. Okay, you can do that on the module, you can do that on the section, and you can also do that on the rows depending on what you want to split test. For example, for us, let's split test the blue section here. So I go to the 3 little dots, then split test. Then we need to select the goal. So this is what we are going to use to measure which version wins over the others. So if we select a text or an image, for example, we are going to measure how many people view this text or this image. And if you select a button, for example, then we are going to measure how many times people click on this button. And after that, for each version of our split test, then we will know exactly how many times our visitors did this action and performed this goal. Okay? You just click on OK. And then you can select your goal. So here for our example, I will select the button here just below my product. It doesn't really make sense to do this test, but here I just want to show you how the split test feature works. So I will select my button. And now the split test has created multiple versions of our section that we can change to perform our test. So I just click OK. And now we can see that our blue section is actually in yellow. And it's because now we actually have multiple variation of this section. And we can see the multiple variation here with the little arrow icon. You just click on it and it will just display the other variations. So Currently, they are exactly the same because the software starts by duplicating the element that you want to split test. And so a good way to see that we have multiple elements is actually to go to the wireframe view. And here we can see that we have our 2 variation. You see 1, 2. If you want more variation, this is not really best practice, but maybe for your test it makes sense, then just duplicate again one of the 2 elements. For example, if I duplicate number 2, now I have version number 3, 4, etc., etc. Okay, and this way you can add as many versions as you want. So for me, I will just keep 2. And what I will do is, in one of the versions, I will use the latest release as we have right now on my store. And in the second variation, I will display the best sellers of my store because I would like to know which one works best. Should I display the latest release product here, or should I display the best sellers? Which one will bring me more sales? So now I am in the second version, and I will just change this module to best sellers, and also change the products that are displayed to best selling products. Okay, and we also have a mobile version for this page, so I will change it here as well. So now we have one version with the best seller, and we have the other version with the latest release. So I will just bold the text on best as well. Okay, perfect. So it really looks the same. So now the split testing will show this version to half of the visitor of my store, and to the other half of the visitor, it will show the bestseller version. Okay, and it will count how many times people click on this button, and then we will get the results. When we show this version, for example, we have 200 people who click on the button, and when we show this version, we had 700 people who clicked on the button. And as we show each version to exactly the same number of people, then we know that this version is a clear winner. Okay, so now our split testing is set up. Then to see the result, you just click on the little icon here. And here we have the statistics. So as we have just started our split test, we have nothing displayed at the moment. Just wait a few hours and you need to have some visitors that go on your site, and then you will see all the results directly here. Okay, and once you are done with your split test, you just click on End Split Test and pick Winner. It will ask you to actually choose one of the version. So you click on Proceed, and then you need to choose if you want to keep version 2 or if you want to keep version 1. And it will actually delete the other version. Okay? And so this is how you can end the split test and then only keep the winning option. So I will just choose, for example, version 1, and I will just go back to keep my split test. Okay? Perfect. Now we still have our split testing. Last thing that I want to show you is that into the page settings here, you have additional split testing option. So first of all, make sure that split testing is enabled. When you activate the split testing on your module or row, then it will be activated here as well by default. So make sure that you don't turn it off basically. And then you have a few more settings. So first of all, you can define the bounce rate. The bounce rate is the ratio of people who go on your page and then do absolutely nothing and leave. And so the bounce rate limit is the number of seconds to stop considering a visitor as a bounce. So 5 means that any visitors that come on your page and leave within the first 5 seconds will be considered bounce. And then you can change it to whatever you want. But you can keep it at 5 by default, it's great. Then you can change how often you want to refresh the stats, either hourly or daily. And then you can enable shortcut tracking. So this is very powerful because this will allow you to set up a goal for your split test that is outside your page. You remember just before when we enabled this split test on our page, we had to select a goal that was on our page and we clicked on this button here. Then if you use the shortcut, you can use another page as the goal for your split test. So for example, a great test for this store would be which version brings me more sales. Right now we have which version brings me more click to this button, which again doesn't really make sense. But what we could do is which version brings me more sales. Is it better to display the latest release or the best sellers in terms of which one brings me more sales? For doing that, we set up the split testing the exact same way as we did, but instead of selecting the button here, we enable shortcut tracking, and then we add this shortcut on the thank you page after people purchase on the store. So this way it will count how many times the page is viewed for each version, And so if people view the thank you page, which means they have placed an order on the store, which means they have purchased, which means I have made a sale. And you can place this shortcode anywhere on any page of your store. It's very simple. You just copy it and then go to the page where you want to add this shortcode, add a new module, a text module, and just paste the shortcode into the body. Now the goal of a split test will be how many times people see the page where the shortcode has been added. So it needs to be on a different page. Here I just show you how to add it quickly on this page, but to do a proper split test, we need to add this shortcode on a different page than the page where we do the test. So when you use shortcode tracking, what is measured for your split test is the number of times the page that contains the shortcode is viewed. So we don't measure any clicks, we just measure the number of times the page that contains the shortcode is viewed. Okay, so that's why if we want to track sales, it's good to add this shortcode on the thank you page after someone purchased something on our store. And if you actually want to do that and want to add this shortcode to your thank you page, then just come to our documentation website and you will find tutorials there on how to create a custom thank you page. That's it of this section about split testing. Now you can start testing absolutely everything on your store and start improving things over time. Let's keep going and I will see you in the next section.